Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're connecting the dots from global economic shifts right down to your wallet and your everyday survival strategies. We are living through a wildly unique economic moment right now in 2026. And to truly figure out how to protect your finances, we really need to connect that big macro-level data to your micro-level reality.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to trace the connections, starting with the 2026 inflation shock, move into the intense household debt squeeze it's created, and look at how entire generations are delaying major life decisions because of it. Then, most importantly, we're pivoting to defense. We'll cover some highly concrete ways to navigate high-interest debt and maximize your Social Security.
All right, let's jump right in. Section 1, the 2026 inflation shock.
Let's kick things off with a crucial number, 3.8%. Back in April 2026, the Consumer Price Index, or CPI, shot up to an annual rate of 3.8%. It's a big deal because that's the highest inflation level we had seen in almost 3 years. The markets were definitely expecting a lower number, but prices just accelerated. This put massive, unexpected pressure on consumers and basically stalled the Federal Reserve's plans to cut interest rates anytime soon. So what does that mean for us? It means the era of expensive borrowing is pretty much locked in for the foreseeable future.
Now, what's really alarming is where that inflation is actually coming from. A massive 40% of this CPI spike was driven directly by an energy shock. Because of the Iran war breaking out in March, global oil supplies got severely constrained. And hey, this isn't just some abstract geopolitical event playing out on the news. It translated into gasoline prices jumping over 28% and airline fares soaring nearly 21%. It's literally a textbook example of global supply constraints creating an intense local pricing crisis.
In response to this crazy surge at the pump, the Trump administration proposed suspending the federal gas tax for a period of time, which is about 18.4 cents per gallon for regular gas. However, economic experts from groups like Moody's Analytics quickly pointed out that this might only offer pretty limited relief. Why? Because the pass-through costs of expensive diesel will still rapidly inflate the price of groceries and manufactured goods before they even hit the store shelves.
And that brings us right to the human cost of all this, which was captured perfectly by economist Heather Long from Navy Federal Credit Union. She noted that consumers are suddenly dealing with an extra $75 a month in expenses just for fuel alone. When you pair that with rising costs literally across the board, you see that for the first time in 3 years, inflation is eating up all of our wage gains. Your paycheck might technically be numerically higher, but your actual purchasing power is just shrinking by the day.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, the household debt squeeze. So when wages aren't covering the rising cost of living, we naturally reach for credit, right? But household debt isn't just swiping a credit card. As tracked by the New York Fed, it encompasses the combined debt of everyone living under your roof. We're talking mortgages, home equity lines of credit, auto loans, and student loans. It's the total collective weight of your household's borrowed money.
And man, that weight has never been heavier. According to the New York Fed, total household debt reached a staggering $18.8 trillion in the first quarter of 2026. Yes, $18.8 trillion with a T. To put that in perspective, that is a massive underlying volume of debt weighing down the economy. Mortgages and auto loans ticked up, and while credit card balances actually fell just a tiny bit due to seasonal paying down, the total balance remains astronomically high. It's leaving average households with way less disposable income and far more financial risk.
And this is where you really see the painful symptoms of that debt burden. Notice the sharp jump in student loans flowing into serious delinquency, which means debts that are 90 days or more late. They climbed from 8% last year to nearly 11% this year. Credit card delinquencies are also holding high at over 7%. The system is showing severe structural stress right now, and those rising delinquencies mean dropping credit scores, which is obviously going to make future borrowing even harder for millions of people.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, generations delaying life decisions.
This intense financial pressure isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's fundamentally altering people's life paths. Deloitte's massive 2026 global survey validates the squeeze you might be feeling right now. It shows that over half of Gen Z, at 55%, and Millennials, at 52%, are actively delaying major life milestones. We're talking about putting off marriage, waiting to start a family, or delaying buying a home, specifically because of their current financial strain and the harsh affordability of housing. And remember, delaying these steps also means significantly slowing down long-term wealth accumulation.
This survival mindset is completely spilling over into career ambitions, too. You'd think financial pressure would make people scramble for rapid promotions just to make more money, right? But the exact opposite is happening. Younger generations are trading the traditional ideal of fast-paced career growth for a new set of priorities: gradual growth, stability, and sustainable workloads. Actually, only a quarter of Gen Z prefer rapid promotions now. They're avoiding leadership roles if it means sacrificing their well-being, choosing instead to build really durable, highly stable foundations so they can weather an unpredictable economy. So, how do we fight back? Let's get into Section 4, Navigating High-Interest Debt. How do we actually defend our wallets? Well, Belco Credit Union lays out a fantastic, actionable playbook for this exact high inflation environment. Step 1 is basic but absolutely crucial. Establish a firm budget so you can identify non-essentials and dedicate every single saved dollar to your debt. Step 2 is strategy. Attack your highest interest debt first. This is often called the Avalanche method, and mathematically, it saves you the most money over time. Step 3 is about leveraging your good credit. Strategically utilize 0% balance transfers for a limited time. This gives you temporary relief from crushing interest rates so your actual principal balance goes down way faster. And the best part is, you don't have to execute this completely alone. Lean on trusted personal finance journalists, people highlighted by financial media networks like FinCon. Experts like Sharon Epperson or Chatzky are constantly analyzing these exact trends. By following vetted experts and using recommended tools to monitor your credit reports, you avoid predatory advice and keep your strategies super sharp and accurate as the economy continues to shift around us. Finally, let's look at the ultimate long game. Section 5, Maximizing your Social Security. While we're all busy battling short-term inflation, we absolutely cannot ignore the biggest lever we have for long-term stability: optimizing your Social Security. The break-even math here from Retire Pro is seriously eye-opening. Let's say your full benefit is $2,200 a month at age 67. Claiming early at 62 slashes that down to just $1,540. But waiting until 70 boosts it all the way up to $2,728. While claiming at 62 gives you a head start on collecting cash, the math clearly shows that if you live into your late 70s or early 80s, delaying drastically increases your lifetime payout. In fact, if you live to 85, claiming at 70 instead of 62 gets you over $66,000 more in total lifetime benefits. The big takeaway here? Strategic patience pays off big time. By delaying from your full retirement age of 67 out to age 70, you are locking in 24% more monthly income for the rest of your life. In financial terms, this is essentially securing a guaranteed 8% annual return on your money. With the markets being so volatile and inflation running hot, finding a guaranteed 8% return anywhere else is virtually impossible. It's hands down the best inflation-adjusted annuity available to you. So I want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on today. Amid all of these massive economic shifts, from a 3.8% inflation shock to an $18.8 trillion debt mountain, when is the exact right moment for you to claim your financial future? You've got the data, you understand the macroeconomic forces at play. Now it is time to run your own numbers and build your fortress. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.